Hi everyone, this is Unfine and this episode is going to be dedicated to a great mod called WorldEdit. Have you guys ever had it happen that when you are looking for an area to build on, you don't find any area anywhere nice and you don't want to build anything on it? If you want some kind of mountain, and you can't find mountains anywhere, or you can find them, but they're not pretty, or you want to build on hills and have some kind of river, but you can't find that anywhere. And personally, I've had that happen. This program was a very big discovery for me, and I immediately learned how to use it. Well, at least to use for myself. I did not study it completely 100%, but in order to create something that I would like to develop on, I achieved it. And I want to show it to all of you, my subscribers, by many requests. In this mod there is a wonderful thing called a brush. It is similar to the brushes in Photoshop, that is, you set the parameter of the brush, set it, what it should draw, and draw, like this and draw directly in the game, on the map and so on. Well, let's not procrastinate, and in order to use the brush tool, I'm going to pick up any object. You can pick anything. I'm going to take a wooden chapka, and the brush itself is invoked with a command like this. If we press enter, immediately the game will write to us, and in brackets are written all the names of the brushes that are available in this mod. I use only 3 brushes, the smoothing brush, the sphere brush and the cylinder brush. With these 3 brushes you can achieve perfection in terraforming. That's what I'm telling you guys for sure, and you're going to see all of this in the series that's coming up right here right now, which is right now. God, I'm getting confused. Alright, let's go ahead and set our brush to the sphere parameter. We're going to write /brush sphere, and the first number that plays a role in the brush is the ID of the block that we want to see on our map. I'm going to put 1, that's the default rock block ID. In Minecraft, if you want to know all the IDs, then download yourself a spreadsheet that will show. Even let me do it like this. I'll flash you, I have it open in the next window. Look at it like this, it doesn't work like that. Okay, you've seen a piece of the sign, I think you've forgotten what I'm talking about. Now, what I'm talking about. The second parameter in setting a parameter in a brush is its radius. Let's choose a brush radius of 5. Let's make it 5, enter. We right-click on the map and we get a bunch of spheres. We can see these spheres now. If we want to create cylinders, we simply delete the spheres and assign cylinder, or in abbreviated form cell. Press enter and we have a cylinder. But as you can see, our cylinder is not really a cylinder, it's just a circle. The whole difference between the cylinder brush and the sphere brush is that in the cylinder brush you also need to specify the height of the cylinder. Let's specify a height of 10 blocks and right-click. You can see the cylinder has appeared. These are 2 very handy brushes. And you can do wonders with them. Let's also use the third brush, which is called smudge. It goes like this. /brush smooth and we specify the radius and the strength of the smudge. And now we're seeing 4x. We right-click the right mouse button and watch the blocks lay down. So everything that we've put here on the map gets more or less this streamlined look. And it doesn't look very ugly if we include this on the sphere. See, we've already made a little hill out of the cylinder. It's a very handy thing to have. And let me show you some examples that will allow us to do all sorts of interesting things. In order to make, for example, a mountain, it's clear, guys, that you can't make a mountain with ordinary cylinders. Let's also print brush spheres. We'll choose an ID of a stone and we'll choose, for example, the 6th radius. If you do stones like this, it's all expose. Anyway, if you smudge it all with a smudge brush, I assign a different command to each item I pick up, so that I don't have to retype commands all the time. Now, I'm going to write smooth 5.5 and we can see now that we've got this little rock. Yes, this one, guys, a rock, even it's not a rock, it's more like a hill already. And in order to turn this hill into a real hill, because hills are not stones, there is an interesting command called replace near, that is a command, stop, stop, stop. The command, which allows you to replace blocks with ID 1, that is, we have a stone, on the block with ID 2, we have grass. That's press enter and look. Immediately the system says 12,152 blocks changed and we see an earth mound. Earth and hill, but I do not usually suffer from this, guys, and let's just say, well, it's all in a Bath Hills, it's not interesting, hilly Minecraft is enough, but there are no beautiful mountains. Also, as I showed with stone, if you just make everything out of stone spheres, you will never get a rock. The whole point is that stone is very, let's say, inconvenient in processing and creating a rock in this mod, so I advise you to use sand. But in order to use sand you must first have some, let's say, basis. Because here I have now, guys, 5 blocks deep into the earth and then the abyss begins, because this is an ultraplanar world. I have created, you can see now, a platform on which a big rock will be located. I'm smoothing this platform with different objects, making it as realistic as possible, smoothing. In order to speed up the characters, if you build rather large objects, there is a command called setSpeed. We put a 5 in it, for example, and look how quickly we start flying, it's very convenient. Okay, we have the platform ready, guys, and as I said, it's best to use sand, it's quite contrasting and stands out well against the other blocks. Let's do a command, so, /brush, sphere, pardon. Let's choose the ID of the sand, in this case it's 12, and let's choose the radius, I think it's 6, let it be 6, and let's create ugly spheres of sand. We can see now that the sand, as soon as it's placed on some protruding run, starts to crumble, that's what we need, that's how the cliffs get their shape in this fashion, when we build all this stuff. Well, look, guys, as much sand as I put in, the system fails a little bit, this sand all falls down, and gets a certain, let's say, this shape, you see, right? In order to achieve more, let's say, some cool effect, I'll make the sphere a little bit smaller and I'll put more of these, more sand spheres, like this, let's do here, like this, and I think it will be enough with what we already have. We'll smooth out a little bit of the top here, top, God, what a word, a piece of this plain sand, we'll smooth it out, here, but upwards we won't be able to smooth it out properly, because the smoothing brush works very strangely, here, you see, what I was saying, if you don't make the platform properly, you'll have these chasms popping up, so I'm going to do one like this for a second, hop, and that's it, I think that's enough, and now let's choose the brush back to the sand, so, everything is there, the smoothing brush works very awkwardly here, so, guys, well, I don't advise you to smooth the mountain tops with it. Let's go ahead and poke the brush command again. Oh, pardon, /brush sphere, put ID 12 to 4 here, press enter, oh, pardon, guys, I'm getting lost, here we go, 4 to 5. You see, the tops are somehow unrealistically blurred and shrunken, and decently sized, which is why I don't advise you to suffer with smoothing mountaintops, but at the moment we have what we have, and I think it can all be turned into a rock now. So, you ask, I'll tell you what, we fly closer, when we have created the necessary landscape, and again we use the command replace, near, without space, specify the radius, well, the approximate radius of 30 blocks, in which we need to change the ID scheme in block 12, this is sand, for 1 stone, press enter, and we have already got a billet, you see how beautiful. Here, we have already got something, a small piece is not affected, let's repeat this command, so 31 blocks are still left, and in order for this rock to get its normal appearance, we need to use another brush, which is called brush, cylinder, we choose a block with ID check 12, this is again sand, and take a radius of about 7, excellent. Now let's switch it on like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even more you can put the radius, let it be 10, we do it like this, we put these cylinders here a whole bunch of guys, so that this sand completely covers the whole stone that we have here, like this, cover everything, the whole stone with sand. Now we write the command, undo, I have it subendi now on one separate button, all in order to disappear these layers of sand between the stone, and this to us, well, the rock itself turned out more realistic, I press now undo, and you see, these layers disappear, the sand that's crumbled remains, and the layers are all gone, and it doesn't hurt the look of the landscape. Okay, let's put some more. Okay, we've got, guys, a little rock, now all we have to do is go down, again. Well, this command we have a little bit above, 12, and select the grass block here, 1, the standard ID of rock, select, change to grass, 2, I select 2, press enter. And what we see a rock, and in order to make this rock, now I'm going to do, the sun, to make this rock look even more realistic, let me just pick up the sand that's not touched, so, to make this rock look more realistic, obviously, we need to plant it with something, I love dupes. I always choose them to diversify the area. We also need bone meal, and this can be colored in a very conventional way. As we are all used to use the right mouse button on a block of grass, and we grow flowers and all sorts of things. But, guys, you will say, man, it's so long, the whole chipping, and if it's healthy. And then, therefore, there's a special team called rich. That is, it's a command that lengthens our arms by 40. Well, I chose 40, you can do 50 blocks, and now I can plant, as you can see, from such a great distance. It's all grass. We're already seeing how beautifully it's planted, let's plant it all here. So, let's fly higher, we'll plant more grass, a whole bunch of grass. Let's take our saplings, let's put our saplings all over the place, let's arrange the whole scola. Okay, great. And we're going to use a very cool command called grow all. I think it's spacebar, well spacebar enter, okay, all the trees I planted have grown. Now look what we've done, guys. Well, it's not beautiful, it's a very beautiful rock. We can make some steps, build a house here, build a house there, a bridge between them. Well, you yourself understand how much choice of possibilities, well, how many opportunities provides this mod, and I advise you all to use it. I think that my tutorial on such basic commands to create wonders will be useful to you. So you even let me know useful to you, write it in the comments, if there will be any questions also ask, if there will be any criticism and wishes also write. Thank you for your attention, until next episode guys, bye.